Hello and welcome back to EFD, where today we're bringing you the 10 best bargains in Los Blancos' transfer history. All 10 cost a combined £51 million. 10. Marcelo. For a long time, Marcelo suffered for being Brazilian. Always dangerous in attack with twice as many league assists over the last 4 years as Iniesta, he was routinely criticised for a lack of defensive awareness, after moving to Spain at the age of 18 for just £6 million. However, like countryman and Madrid icon Roberto Carlos before him, Marcelo's offensive threat is often enough to pin opposition wingers, and when called into action, he is an extremely capable and smart defender. The left-back made 49 tackles and interceptions in 11 appearances in the 2016-17 Champions League, and was included in the Team of the Year for the second campaign running, as he earned a third European crown. After more than a decade at the club, Marcelo has more appearances for Real than any other foreign player, bar Carlos himself, and has 17 trophies to show for his loyalty, more than Pep Guardiola won as a manager of Barca. 9. Fernando Morientes. For fans of Fernando's, there are 3 on our list, and the first is Fernando Morientes. The striker won the Champions League 3 times with Real, as well as being part of the Monaco squad which reached the final in 2004 and the Liverpool squad that won it in 2005, though Morientes was cup-tied after leaving Madrid and didn't earn a medal. That switch to Anfield earned Los Blancos £8 million, not a bad return on a forward who cost them nothing as a 21-year-old. The Spaniard was brought in by Jupp Heynckes, and despite the presence of experienced forwards like Davor Suker, Raul and Predrag Mijatovic in the squad, Morientes ended the season as the first choice and Madrid's top scorer. His height and selflessness saw the striker form a perfect relationship with the smaller and more skillful Raul, and brought him 72 goals in 182 league matches in the white shirt. However, in the age of the Galacticos, the workman-like Morientes was always out of place, and he eventually saw his spot and number 9 shirt taken by the Brazilian Ronaldo. 8. Dani Carvajal. Arguably, Real Madrid overpaid for Dani Carvajal. A graduate of the club's academy, the right-back was sold to Bayer Leverkusen in 2012 for £4.5 million, but with a buyback option set at £5.9 million. After a single season in Germany, in which Leverkusen came third and had the second best defence in the league, Real brought the 21-year-old home, but we can forgive the £1.4 million loss given how good Carvajal has proven to be. At 25, the Spaniard is a 3-time Champions League winner, and after the retirement of Philipp Lahm, is comfortably the best in the world in his position. He creates around 1.6 chances a game, the same as Sadio Mane, while winning the ball back 3.8 times a game, more than Sergio Busquets does for Barcelona. That incredible output allowed Madrid to switch to a narrow diamond in the 2016-17 season, relying on Marcelo and Carvajal for width. It brought them a 12th European crown. Unflashy and competent, Carvajal is the perfect player for Zidane's Madrid, a star player without a star ego. 7. Mesut Ozil. A move to Real Madrid can be daunting at the best of times, but for Mesut Ozil back in 2010, it must have been particularly intimidating. The German was just 21, had scored 1 and assisted 3 at the Summer's World Cup, and had signed for Madrid despite strong interest from Arsenal, Man United and Barcelona. Real paid £12 million, but that was considered a gamble on a player with 17 professional goals to his name. It turned out alright though. Ozil scored 19 and assisted 47 in 105 league games, helping Real to the 2011-12 title. He created more chances than anyone else in Spain in 2 of his 3 full seasons, coming third in the other, and laid on an opportunity for his teammates every 23 minutes during his time at the club. Unfortunately for the German, the departure of Jose Mourinho and the arrival of Carlo Ancelotti saw the team switch from a 4-2-3-1 formation to 4-3-3, leaving no natural home for a number 10. Ozil's final gift to the club was handing them a £30 million profit on their original investment, as he left for Arsenal in 2013. 6. Steve McManaman. Moving to Real Madrid on a free transfer in 1999, Steve McManaman was only the second English player ever to sign for Los Blancos, the first being Laurie Cunningham in 1979. A clever, two-footed playmaker with great dribbling skills, McManaman didn't fit into the workman style of the Premier League, though he still made over 350 appearances for the Reds in 9 years. But while McManaman was unusual for his technical skill in the Prem, it was his work rate which set him apart in La Liga. After a goal and 3 assists in his first 2 games, the Englishman was shifted into central midfield by coach Vicente Del Bosque, and he shone as Real went to the Champions League final, beating the previous year's finalists Bayern and Man United on the way. He scored a brilliant volley to give Real their 8th trophy in the competition, and despite the arrival of Luis Figo that summer, McManaman remained a loyal and dependable squad member. Del Bosque said that the winger was the most important player at the club, thanks to his ability to unite the dressing room, and by the time Macca left in 2003, he had won another Champions League and 2 domestic titles. 5. Toni Kroos. The most expensive player on our list, Toni Kroos cost a princely £22.5 million back in 2014, shortly after adding a World Cup to the treble he had won with Bayern Munich the year before. At the time, it seemed like a good deal for a steady player, but Kroos has gone on to rival teammate Luka Modric for the title of the world's best midfielder. Kroos has won 8 trophies in just 4 seasons at Real, meaning that at the time of writing, he's averaging 1 piece of silverware every 21 games. Best known for his extraordinary passing, with his 8.5 long balls completed per game, the best in Spain, Kroos has added the defensive nous of his predecessor, Xabi Alonso, winning the ball back more than 3 times a match. The playmaker has been voted into the Champions League Team of the Season for 4 consecutive years now, and at 27 shows no signs of deteriorating anytime soon. 4. Fernando Redondo. Sometimes a name says it all, and Fernando Redondo's nickname at the Santiago Bernabeu was the Prince. An Argentinian, Redondo was theoretically a defensive midfielder, but played the position in his own special way, capable of splitting defences with long balls and often dribbling out of tight spots. In a 2000 Champions League tie against Man United, after Redondo had humiliated Henningberg again and again, Alex Ferguson asked the press, what does this player have in his boots? A magnet? A Copa America winner with his country, Redondo arrived at the club from Tenerife for £3 million and played more than 200 times for Real Madrid. Though relatively slow, Redondo was extremely intelligent, having studied law before going into football, and like Guardiola or Busquets, used his reading of the game to break up play and set the tempo. Despite appearing alongside Figo, Seedorf and Roberto Carlos, Redondo was twice named Real's Player of the Year, and after leaving for Milan in 2000, he won another title and the Champions League, his 3rd already. 3. Bodo Illgner. A name perhaps unknown to younger football fans, keeper Bodo Illgner was so highly regarded at the Bernabeu that in 2013 supporters of Real voted him into the team of the greatest foreign players in Madrid history, with a massive 72% of the vote. It's not hard to see why though. Taking over from Santiago Canizares, the German arrived from Cologne for £1.85 million in 1996. Not a bad price for a World Cup winner. Real had won the league just once in the previous 6 years, and had not been European champions in over 3 decades. But Illgner was a steady presence, conceding 36 goals in just 42 games in his first year in Spain, to bring the title back to the Bernabeu. In his 2nd season, he kept 7 clean sheets in 12 Champions League matches, as Real returned to the pinnacle of the continental game. He would win the Champions League again 2 years later, but this time as an understudy to Iker Casillas. His time at Madrid may have been short, but Illgner helped shepherd the club from a fallow period of the 90s into another era of dominance, and he cost the Spanish Giants next to nothing. 2. Santiago Solari. Santiago Solari's arrival at Real Madrid in 2000 could not have been sweeter. The Argentine midfielder joined Vicente Del Bosque's team from rivals Atletico Madrid, who had just been relegated. However, life was not much rosier in the white half of the capital. Despite an expensive and talented squad, the side had only finished 5th the previous year, below Zaragoza and champs Deportivo. Solari only earned 11 caps for his country, but his talents were better appreciated by the Bernabeu faithful, as he made over 200 appearances for the club in 5 seasons. Like McManaman, he would sacrifice personal glory for the team, tracking back from his customary position on the left before bursting forward to support the attack. That attitude kept the utility man in the side under 5 different managers, and in his first 3 years at Real, he won the league, the Champions League and the league again. He eventually followed the classic Madrid retirement plan, heading to Inter Milan with Luis Figo in 2005 and winning 3 Scudetti. 1. Fernando Hierro. As a child, Fernando Hierro was told that he would never make it as a footballer and was rejected by 2 clubs in his home province of Malaga. However, he eventually made a breakthrough with Valladolid, helping the club to 8th, then 6th in the Liga in the late 80s. Madrid were watching and took a punt on the youngster at 900k. Hierro would go on to play 610 games for the club, and despite featuring primarily as a centre-back, he scored 127 goals in the white shirt, more than Steven Gerrard got in the league for Liverpool or Xavi over his entire career. He got more than 10 league goals on 3 occasions, and in 1992 bagged an incredible 21, coming in 2nd for La Liga's top scorer award ahead of Stoichkov. By the time he left the club for Qatari side Al Rayyan, Hierro had lifted the Champions League trophy 3 times and was a 5-time Spanish champion. Not bad for a guy who costs half as much as Cristiano Ronaldo's Bugatti. So that was our top 10 Real Madrid bargain transfers. Have we missed out on any, and what do you think of our 10? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this, why not check out Football Mundial with me and Michael. We talk about everything from around the world. And as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.